Yes, the Toyota brakes too. Getting a lot of pulsation in the pedal at high speeds, and also a leak in the clutch cylinder. The master cylinder of the clutch is leaking a little bit inside the foot area. No play in the wheel bearings. There might be a little play in the ball joint. Looks like there's not much brake pad left on the front. That indicator's almost touching the rotor. 1/1000th of an inch is really not much at all. That shouldn't be an issue. I don't like how this brake hose is flopping around here in the bracket. That does not seem right. So that is out of our way. And the inside surface of this thing looks actually pretty good. And this side is even less than 1/1000th of an inch. It's actually very, very good. So I'm going to measure in 4 places, even with the lug bolt. Same 1/1000th difference, also 0. I can look at the spec book, but I do not think that is enough to cause a pulsation in the pedal. I'm on the driver's side now, and it's pretty interesting, but this side is also excellent. Pretty much 0 runout on the outer surface. We'll check the inner surface because I'm a little bit confused why it's pulsing. Okay, the interesting thing about this side is this caliper bolt is loose. I can move it pretty easily, so that is not good. The lower one's reasonably tight. This has a little clip on it. It's kind of mangled, but not like the other side. At least it's secure. The inside surface is practically perfect too. Yeah, this rotor is excellent. So we'll have to check the back brakes because I'm not seeing, other than the loose caliper, I'm not seeing any reason why it would pulse. I drove the car after tightening up that driver's front caliper, and the vibration is still there. There are some pretty thick spacers here on the back. That's just a cosmetic thing. A little bit less than 1/1000th of an inch, so this side doesn't seem to be the problem. This is the inside, and so it is within 1/1000th of an inch too. I'm getting 0.6947 on the thickness, but the variation on it is not bad at all. I decided to replace the rear rotors because on the inside it looks like appears to be little heat cracks in them, and it's quite a bit grooved on the backside. So I'm going to replace both sides and put new pads on. I've also pulled out some pretty dirty fluid, so we'll replace all the fluid, get these brakes hopefully back to normal. I have to order the brake lines. I want to replace the rubber brake lines, but those are going to take a little while to get here. And I like these R4S pads from Porterfield. I have them on my Porsche and they're amazing. So they do make them for the Toyota, so we'll use these. And while I'm waiting for the rotors to arrive, I'm thoroughly cleaning the hubs so that we get a nice parallel surface. So I just use, this is a little bit of metal descaler. It's from Industrial Metal Supply, and it's like a phosphoric acid, and it just takes off some of the corrosion. Okay, the brakes are back together now with the new rotors. I've adjusted the parking brake, got the new Porterfield pads in there, and I'm just doing a final gravity bleed here. So this is opened up, and it's dripping every so often, but it's all coming out clear in the bowl there. It's the bowl's not that clean, but the brake fluid's clean now. Yay, that fixed it. I just took it on a test run, 80 miles an hour, stabbed the brakes, and no more pulsation in the pedal. So it must have been those rear rotors were suspect. Probably the original ones. They'd been turned at least twice. So better just to replace it. I didn't like those little cracks. I don't know what was causing the pulsation, but it's gone now. So now it's time to fix that leak on the hydraulic clutch system. You can kind of see what's been leaking. There's liquid right there. And you can see it's been staining the carpet too, which is unfortunate. And this pink thing, I'm not sure why it's pink, but this is the slave cylinder for the clutch. So it pushes on this arm, which then actuates a diaphragm on the clutch to release it. So I'm going to replace both the master and the slave cylinder and the hose, just to make sure we get this all the way fixed. Okay, the new part is identical in every way. Looks like the hole patterns and the port locations and the length of the push rod, everything is identical. So, in fact, this one's marked Eisen, and this one also is marked Eisen. So this is probably the original. I did find some cracking here on that, this part of the hose has got a little bit of cracking in it. I don't think it was leaking, but it's got some cracks. The fitting there is the same and the length is about the same. And then just a real quick note about this, the sealing is not done here on the threads. It's done with that little cone inside the bore there. There's a cone there and there's a cone there. So that is what locks together and creates a seal. Okay, I clipped in the new line and made sure it's not twisted. See how it's got that white stripe on there? So it's nice and straight. This is the brake reservoir, and right next to it is the master cylinder for the clutch. The fluid is pretty clear until you got right to that bottom there. It's starting to get kind of rusty and yucky at the bottom. That's the nut we need to get to right there. Okay, I got that nut off. I just used this 12 millimeter 6-point deep socket 3/8 wrench. Wasn't that bad. And I also took off, there's an under tray that comes here and there's a little light you can disconnect. But 3 screws, 1, 2, and 3, that allows me to get better access to a pin inside there. Just need to take that pin out to remove that clevis pin so we can disconnect that push rod. All right, I got it through the firewall now, and the hydraulic line is started. It's not fully tightened yet, but now I need to go inside and get those nuts on from underneath the clutch pedal area. All right, I've wiped up some of the old brake residue off of the paint. Some of it's compromised, but it's not coming off. So I'm going to, let that live. See down there, I cleaned it up as best I could. The hydraulic line is tight. Everything's tight under the car. I left the dash cover off the clutch pedal area so I can do some final adjustment. But now it's time to put some new fluid in. And this is just .3 fluid. The reason why this one probably failed is because of that brown rusty stuff. You really gotta flush this fluid probably once a year. The slave cylinder bleeder is way down there, right where the light is. I could probably reach down there, but it's kind of a hassle. So I think I'm gonna bleed it from under the car. Gravity is doing most of the bleeding for me, but I do have this vacuum pump, a couple hoses, and this canister is kind of homemade. It's got a sealed cap on it. So I can pull a vacuum on that slave cylinder and just pull a little bit of extra fluid out. That should do the trick. And then this hose is clear, so I can see any bubbles that are coming out. As soon as the bubbles stop, it's done. So the bleeding is done. I don't see any hydraulic leaks here on the boot or the fittings or anything like that. They got the dust cap back on it. The Freeplay is adjusted, and you can just verify that the clutch is not being actuated. There should be no pressure on this arm right here. I like to adjust it to my own driving preference, not so much the manual, but it's got to have Freeplay. Otherwise, you're going to burn out your clutch. So right now, the ruler is not touching the clutch pedal. The brake pedal sticks out a little bit further, but it's probably more than the 15 millimeters. That's probably 20 millimeters, maybe. Yeah, I'd say it's a little bit ambiguous where it starts. Right there, so I can put my whole thumb in there. So it's like a thumb's width of Freeplay. And then it will go all the way to the floor right there. I can push it with just my hand. It's pretty easy to use this clutch. And no squeaks, no nothing.